41-year-old Dewey is adjusting to life after divorce. This holiday in Hawaii is one of the first he's taken without his family.
When I went over there, I really feel like my life was in a transition. I went through a painful, difficult divorce, and I was in the midst of a bunch of change. Everything felt new in many ways. I think I was taking things less seriously and becoming much more exploratory, much more curious.
Dewey's hoping that a week exploring the majestic scenery of Big Island will help him come to terms with the past and plan the future.
That is amazing.
Like every tourist, the must-see highlight of Dewey's trip to Hawaii is the spectacular Kilauea volcano. One of the most active volcanoes on the planet. It's set in 300,000 acres of barren lava fields. Devoted father Dewey badly misses his two young daughters, Trina, aged 5, and Tara, 7, who live with their mother.
Hey, Trina, Tara, it's your dad. This is the Kilauea volcano I was telling you guys about.
His kids couldn't come with him, so he's filming his holiday to share with them on his return.
Ain't she amazing? And tonight, you will see her in her full fury. More later.
But this trip to Kilauea is just a scout. Dewey plans to come back after dark when the volcano looks even more dramatic.
My friends had told me that viewing of the volcano was much better at night because you can't see the lava in the bright sunlight. I didn't expect to be out there very long, but the lady at the front desk said, well, it's very dark, you should at least buy a flashlight to take with you. So I put on jeans, good walking shoes, a t-shirt. I put my video camera in a waterproof case that I brought with me, and then I bought a flashlight, and that was my preparation for the trip.
Dewey doesn't pack a compass or bottled water for his nighttime trip. He expects to reach the volcano in a couple of hours and be back in his room soon after midnight.
I left the hotel and drove in this old road that goes into the national park, 10, 15-mile drive. It's fairly desolate. And then the road just dead ends. Way off in the distance, I could see the very, very faint glow of orange, of the actual molten lava. It was at that moment I started realizing that I had to be careful to get back to my car because there was no light on the car, there was no street lamps, nothing to identify the road. But the moon was giving off a good bit of light, so I thought I'd be okay. I was prepared for a very short hike. The only two things I was carrying was a flashlight and my video camera, and there's no cell coverage down there. So I didn't even bother to take my cell phone.
Dewey is confident he'll find his way back to the car, but he's failed to factor in the unfamiliar terrain and total lack of landmarks.
I was just skipping from mound to mound, and there was a breeze. I felt great. It was a really, really pretty night.
But after 2 hours, Dewey is still a long way from the distant glow of flowing lava.
I was like, that orange glow doesn't seem much closer than it did an hour ago. This seems quite a bit farther than they had told me. I thought about blowing it off, but I was pretty committed to actually seeing it and having the experience, so I didn't do that.
After a 3-hour hike, Dewey reaches one of Kilauea's active vents. Here, Molten lava pours spectacularly into the sea and solidifies, making Big Island a little bigger every day.
The steam and the sense of the ocean and the boiling water was just immense. To stand next to this and just realize what a small piece of this planet I am was humbling. It was phenomenal. So I took my video camera out and I started filming it, and I really wanted to get closer to it, but I kept, based on my friends telling me that it runs under the ground and there's a thin crust and all this, I kept feeling the ground as I got closer, and it got very, very hot. I was afraid it would melt my shoes, and I was afraid I could break through, and so I didn't get as close as I wanted, but it was really fascinating.
Hey, girls. It's your dad. Those lights in the distance? That's the lava flows crashing. I kind of doubt you can see anything. It's sort of like the landscape of the moon. It's the roughest, hardest terrains I've ever seen. That's it right there, girls. New Earth being created. It's a beautiful thing.
I watched the volcano for probably 20-25 minutes, and then I was like, it's got to be late, and it's going to be very late when I get back to my car, so it's time to get headed back.
But when Dewey looks for the trail he came in on, he can't find it. Undaunted, he decides to follow the coastline and then cut inland to hit the road where he'd parked his car.
That was the plan.
But just after Dewey sets out,
The moon went down, or clouds came over. Basically, it got quite a bit darker. I think I was walking in less of a straight line. Surprisingly quickly, I hit a different texture of rock. It was, and I didn't know what it was, but instead of being this smooth, crunchy black dough, it was these large, white, crumbling boulders, and incredibly hard to walk on that stuff. If my thinking had been clearer, I think I would have noticed that I've somehow moved to a different topography, a different geography. Something's changed here. But I just didn't know if this was some strange, I'd seen so many strange formations and strange things the lava had done that didn't occur to me that this was a bad sign.
3 hours later, Dewey thinks he's hugged the coast long enough. By his calculations, he should be only minutes from his car.
Okay, that's gotta be enough.
At the point I thought I've got to be past the end of the road, I turned left to walk inland, expecting to hit the road in my car. That's where things started going badly.
Dewey's taking a terrible gamble. If he misses his car in the darkened moonscape, he'll be heading deep into 300,000 acres of uninhabited volcanic fields.
There was no trail at all. I'm just walking across raw, unmarked lava flows.
After 3 hours hiking inland, there's still no sign of his car. Dewey realizes he's lost. In the night, rain begins to fall. A light shower could fill his leaf collectors with life-saving water. But this isn't a shower.
The worst thing about the whole time out there was the nights. The wind cut right through my shelter, and it was just absolutely freezing. It was not well insulated. I hadn't put a door on it. Being in the wind and the rain and bugs crawling on me and not being able to move because I'd knocked down my shelter. That was the hardest thing for me. I shivered the whole night, and it wasn't a mild shiver. I shivered like deep muscle shiver.
The storm has trashed his shelter and overturned his rain catchers.
The third morning, the hunger had set in, the isolation had set in. I'd been shivering all night. I was exhausted. I was injured. I was sore. There was a lot of hopelessness.
To make matters worse, Dewey now makes a shocking discovery.
I had all these shards of pumice or lava rock or whatever it is embedded in my feet. There was some pussiness to it, and there was kind of a reddish line, and it was really sore. Just a constant swollen pressure inside of it. That's when my idea that I can sit this out, it fell apart. I thought, well, I can sit it out unless I've got gangrene or unless I've got some infection. It felt really real. You know, it felt really right up against the edge of existence at that point.
After more than 51 hours alone, and with no one to share his ordeal, Dewey's turning to his camera more and more.
I hope you guys are proud of me. I ain't no quitter. I ain't no quitter. I got my reflector belt up in the tree. But, as you can see, it ain't doing me no good. Looks like it's just you and me.
Unknown to Dewey, search and rescue helicopters are out looking for him. In the night, local police have found his jeep. But after 3 days, scouring 300,000 acres of volcanic fields, they're starting to think he hasn't survived.
Tired. Real tired. I'm scared.
By morning, Dewey's hit rock bottom, and the infection in his foot is spreading. The pain is excruciating. Any remaining hopes Dewey had of walking off the volcano are gone.
My foot is pretty badly blistered, and I'm pussing. They gotta see me to find me.
His only hope is to make one final attempt to attract the passing tourist helicopters.
Well, I thought if I could build a large fire with a lot of smoke, might actually attract rescuers.
Dewey decides that the lava fields which have held him hostage for 5 days might give him an escape route. If he can use the red-hot lava to ignite a branch, he can start a fire and make a beacon. But to do it, Dewey must brave the volcano's toxic gases. Even brief exposure to concentrated carbon dioxide could kill him.
Rescue me.
I crawled down into one of these volcanic vents and tried to stick a long branch down into where it seemed like it was a hot area.
Light! Light, son! You son of a...
After just a few minutes choking in the intense heat and smoke, Dewey realizes he's taking a suicidal risk.
There was fumes coming out of there, and I was afraid I was going to pass out.
Theo Rosmulder is on a long-awaited gold prospecting holiday in a remote part of Western Australia with his wife, Pauline.
Hi, love. Can I get you anything?
No, thanks, love.
Feeling lucky?
Yeah. Today might be the day.
You had your pills?
Yeah. Had him earlier. See you, love.
The treasure-hunting trip is a reward for Theo, who's recovering from triple bypass heart surgery. To survive, he needs daily medication to regulate his heartbeat, and Pauline has come along to keep an eye on him.
I don't enjoy the same enthusiasm of gold detective as Theo does, but I do go, as your good wife does. It was an eye-opener to me as to how remote and desolate Western Australian bush is. Once you'd lost sight of that caravan, you didn't go any further. You turned and came back because, I mean, you got turned around and I was lost. You know, it was very, very easy to get lost.
The Australian outback is one of the world's most sparsely populated regions. Apart from a small Aboriginal settlement about 6 miles from Theo's camp, the area is completely uninhabited.
You can drive for 8 hours constantly and not come across a soul. Wouldn't pass a farmhouse. About the only thing you'd lucky to see would be maybe some wild camels, not a donkey, and basically dirt, trees and nothing else.
The outback is also home to dangerous wild dogs, or dingoes. Opportunistic predators that eat everything, from lizards to kangaroos. And sometimes, even people. Theo and his 2 friends, Doug and Brian, focus their search on a remote region peppered with old mines from the 1900s gold rush. After 2 weeks gold hunting, they feel they know the area so well.
We really need this today?
They leave their handheld GPS in the back of their vehicle.
Back here, 5:30 then? Yeah. Be lucky, boys.
To be honest, if I look back, I was getting pretty cocky. I'd been out so many times by myself and thought I knew the area like the back of my hand.
The men will guide themselves back to their vehicle using the sun, as the outback has few features to navigate by.
We're only going to go out for an hour or so at the most. We decided we weren't going to walk around any great distance. Gold fever.
Lovely.
They talk about gold fever, yeah, that's basically it. If you don't find it, it's the thought of actually finding one. And when you do, you want to find another one.
With one shiny nugget in his pocket, his prospects look good. But Theo's thirst for gold gets the better of him, and his intensive search takes him much further than he realizes.
You get that engrossed in what you're doing, you don't check to see how far you've got. When you turn around, you think to yourself, my God, have I come this far?
While Brian and Doug return safely, Theo's not only late, but he's lost his only way of finding their vehicle. Heavy clouds have rolled in, presenting him with a serious problem.
I looked up at the sky and there was no sun to speak of because of the cloud cover, and the cloud cover was exceptionally thick. I realised that, this is getting serious.
Theo had planned to retrace his steps to the vehicle using the sun. Without it, or his GPS, he has absolutely no way of navigating.
I basically couldn't quite work out as to which direction to actually go back to the car. And I was getting pretty dejected. So I took an uneducated guess.
Theo has made an error that could cost him his life. Instead of trying to find his way back, he should have followed the golden rule of the Outback. If you get lost, stay put and wait for rescue.
He's taking his time.
It's now half an hour past their rendezvous time. Theo's friends Brian and Doug start to wonder where he is.
I got myself totally disorientated to the point that I didn't know where left, right, up, down, north, east, west was. I looked around and I thought, I've been here before. This area looks so familiar. But I realised that it didn't matter where I was. It all looked familiar.
Theo was in one of the world's harshest environments. A vast and featureless desert, devoid of food and water. Without a compass, and with light fading, Theo is totally lost.
How in the hell am I going to get out of this? It was getting just on dusk. I knew by then that I'd be spending a night out in the open if I didn't find my way home.
Then, in the last minutes of daylight, he stumbles on a fence, a lifeline in the middle of nowhere.
We were told that if you find a track or a fence line, if you follow it, it'll take you back to the Aboriginal community. I've got to try and work out from here which way to go.
Theo's decision may mean the difference between life and death. One way will lead him to the Aboriginal settlement and safety, but the other will take him deeper into hostile wilderness, miles from help, food, or water. Lost and alone, Theo has to make a stark choice. Left or right? Alongside Theo's heart defect, 48 hours without water is now becoming life-threatening. A healthy person could go 3 days without it, but Theo is not healthy, and he hasn't had a drop to drink in 2 days. Severe dehydration pushes him closer to death with every hour.
When the body starts shutting down, it's not pleasant. Every part of your body hurts. You can't sit down without the part that you're leaning on. It just aches. When you start walking, your legs hurt, your arms hurt. It had gone from being saved and rescued to trying to survive, and the idea that there's a possibility you were going to die. I was getting so weak and thirsty. My throat was constantly dry, my lips were starting to get swollen. I had nothing to drink, there was just no water about whatsoever.
Theo's body is losing 2 to 3 litres of fluid per day, causing muscle cramps, headaches, and extreme disorientation. Desperate for fluid, he makes an uncomfortable decision.
And it all of a sudden dawned on me. Hang on a minute. You can't waste this. This is your body fluid's going to waste. This is the stuff that's going to keep you alive. It's the only bit of moisture you've got. You know, this was pure water going through. When you decide that that's what you've got to do to survive, that first mouthful's bloody terrible. The first time it near made me sick. I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, I've come down a few pegs on the ladder, having to do that.
Each time Theo drinks his urine, it becomes more concentrated and less hydrating.
The more times you put it through the system, the stronger it becomes, which in turn makes it taste even worse. I couldn't drink it. It was just too vile. I was just withering away, and it was just an ordeal. It's like trying to run a car on an empty fuel tank.
Some 70 rescuers are combing the landscape, trying to find Theo before it's too late. Based on where he was last seen, the police have defined the search area, but Theo keeps wandering in and out of it.
I was starting to lose hope, I think. They would come back and, I'm sorry, Pauline, I haven't found him.
And as ongoing air searches fail to spot him, Theo too is losing hope.
By the time he was flying over me 14 times, I'd given up. I basically knew he wouldn't see me.
Theo faces a third night lost in the Outback. Lacking both food and water, his energy is rapidly draining away.
It was just lonely, cold, and then all sorts of things go through your mind because you've got nothing else to do but think. And yeah, and it wasn't pleasant. It just you just don't want to go there. It's it was just terrible.
Suddenly, he hears the terrifying sound of a deadly new threat.
The dingoes and the wild dogs were watching me constantly. You really start to think, well, I'm not going to get out of this.
The Aborigine trackers have been searching for Theo around the clock.
Have a look at this.
They finally make a breakthrough and find one of his prints.
Yeah. And he's got company.
But they've also spotted another print alongside Theo's. The paw prints of a predator, the dingo.
Can I speak to you, missus?
Yeah, sure.
He's still alive.
How do you know?
We've seen his footprints. The dingoes are following him. They'll keep following him, missus.
Why?
In case he falls.
They were saying while an animal is still fit and healthy, a dingo won't follow. It will come look and then it'll go away. But once an animal is very poorly, they just keep their distance and track it until it falls.
Theo summons his last ounce of energy to keep moving.
As long as you're moving, they're not even going to come anywhere near you, but as soon as you fall down, they're in for the kill.
But as he continues to walk in and out of the search area, it hampers the rescuers' efforts to find him. Theo's mental reasoning has now become so clouded that he clings onto his expensive metal detector, but drops his pick, his only defense against the dingoes.
I'd basically left the only decent weapon that I had against them laying back in the dirt. I thought to myself, well, I'm going to be dead within 24 hours.
And as his energy levels hit rock bottom, Theo was also losing his mind.
I was hallucinating. I knew I was seeing things.
Feeling lucky?